Hey everybody, Aaron here, and I am driving to our gathering. Today is Saturday the 30th. I've got Asher in the back, but you cannot see. Asher, can you say hello? It's hilarious. You can't see because there's this big beanbag in front of me, and tonight we're having a lounge night, which is lots of beanbags and stuff like that. It's real cool. Good idea, by the way. Low girls. Man, I'm really looking forward to tonight. Anyway, what I wanted to do is I wanted to share with you real briefly about an aspect of discipleship. And basically this morning I took my son to McDonald's, and he's a little bit like me. In fact, when he comes into new social spheres, he's very introverted, very shy. And then he gets to this point where he kind of blossoms, and then he kind of like goes around and runs the show, and he's loud and all that kind of stuff. And so I witnessed that firsthand today, and so I did what daddies do, and what I did is I introduced him to the setting, and he was very shy. He didn't want to play with any kids. He was actually telling them all off, because that's what happens when he's kind of scared. He was telling them off. And so I was walking around with him and playing with him, and then crawling and doing all this stuff. I was being a bit of a rebel because, you know, McDonald's playground, don't allow your shoes on. I was straight shoes on. That's right, because I'm a rebel. That's beyond the point. But what happened is we went through this process until he was ready to kind of go into the setting by himself and really own the playground. So it started off where I introduced him into the context, and then I started introducing him to people to kind of make him feel a little bit more comfortable, and then I started to show him how to play and the how-tos of McDonald's playground, so to speak. And then it got to the point where he started to feel a little bit more confident, and he was telling me where to go and kind of encouraging me to come along. And then finally he didn't need me anymore. And I was thinking about how that is such a important process that we need to instill into our discipleship relationships. And it's one of the things that I'm appreciative of at the moment, because the guys are actually telling me, all right, you've done your work, now it's time to let us lead. And I like that, because essentially what we've done with the 1C boys, and I know what is happening with the low girls right now, is going to happen with KOG, is that the ones who have been discipling have been doing the majority of the work, and now we're at this point where, kind of like what I was like with Asher, you're in the setting, you understand the culture, you know the framework of the vision and the mission. Now it's your turn to lead, and it's our turn to kind of just take a step back and do what Ephesians 4 actually says in verses verse 11 and 12, that the apostles, prophets, evangelists, and shepherds and teachers, they equip the saints for the work of the ministry, and they don't just do the ministry. And that's what we're doing here, and it's super exciting. And I think that every discipleship relationship should have that type of progression, where it's almost an introduction to the setting, into the culture, into the mission and the vision. Here's the kind of how-tos of how to Bible study, how to pray, how to make disciples. And then it's like, okay, the work needs to be done, so we're going to take our hands off a little bit. You're going to take the driver's seat. We're going to kind of co-pilot with you until you're ready to do the same thing yourself. And then we can take our hands off and just kind of have this co-laborer relationship going. And I think that's the way that it should be. And so I also think that that's the primary aspect of life-on-life discipleship as well. Life-on-life discipleship is really that relational investment, where it's not a programmatic investment. Because programs are great, but life-on-life has that natural progression, right? And that's what we need, because the thing is you don't graduate from you don't necessarily graduate from life, you know, but you do graduate from programs. So we can't we can't have a full metric of discipleship if it's just programmatic, you know what I mean? So it has to have this aspect of life on life, and we need to go through that relationship kind of progress. So anyway, that's a quick little spiel for you. I'm really looking forward to tonight. So I will see you all there, and yeah, that's me. I should probably get back to driving. Hey. Okay, bye-bye.